Hey! Welcome back to the Hooligans Pitch. Prior to international break, we're back.
We're here.
And it's been a week. It's been a little bit of a week of change, of
frustration
for me. Maybe some drama in there. Maybe some, go against your own manager. Well, I don't know. We'll come into it.
Snip, snap.
Snip, snap. Exactly.
All right. Well, let's get into it, Chad. I'm going to start us off with what we're drinking. I know the listeners will love this one. I'm drinking a Shuby Socks and Sandals Hazy IPA right out of Alameda. Great beer, great brewery. I'll take you there when you visit.
Okay.
It's a local favorite, so that's what I'm having.
Nice. Well, I'm I'll say recovering from the antics of the Jägermeister Cup final, so it's just the water for me today.
Fair enough. You know what? Let's for the locals. Can we start with that and just I don't know anything. Sure, I don't know the score. I didn't check. Take it away. Let's start with the parking lot shots.
Well, okay. So this is the inaugural year of the Jägermeister Cup, which is essentially a USL wide tournament. So sorry, I got a feisty cat here. No MLS teams involved, just from USL Championship down to Indigo League 2.
Okay.
Across the board. So, so first year for that. Sac Republic did well, made it all the way to the final. And I think it was a random draw for who hosts the final between them and Hartford, but ends up at SAC, right? And being the first year and being Jägermeister, I had the idea of it's the Jägermeister Cup. We got to do some Jaeger bombs. I was just talking for the first game as a welcome in.
Now, is this team wide, fan wide, or is this you guys, your group?
This is just me, my group.
You got it. Next, this has got to be spread team wide. I mean, get those fans involved. But I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah. Well, start small and then we'll grow out.
Yep. Multiply every year.
So I just intended it for it to be the first game. And then next game comes around and, my brother's like, all right, I'm ready to bomb again. I was like, all righty, I guess this is a thing now. And it had been working. It's a knockout competition and Sac Republic kept winning. So then at that point, it's we have to every single time now. Which I'm not complaining about. I like a Jaeger bomb every now and then.
It's nostalgic.
Yeah, exactly. And when else are you gonna have a reason to do it, right? So, but then so finals hosted at home. One of the few games my parents want to go to because I think for my mom, really, it's she wants the craziness that penalty kicks could bring if it gets to that point. But we told her and my dad ahead of time, the Jaeger bomb tradition it's there. We have to do it. Otherwise, we're going in with bad luck, right? You can't break it at this point. Got a nice video of our group plus my dad doing the bomb. Mom was never going to do the bomb.
Okay.
But I feel like we shoot for the bomb and we landed on has a sip of Jaeger, has a sip of Red Bull.
Hey, compromise.
It's pretty good. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. So feeling good. Good start to the night, I guess. But then game time comes. I don't know much about Hartford. They are in the East Division, if you want to call it that.
Hartford, Connecticut.
So, yeah.
Wow, what a journey.
Yeah, so I didn't really look into their season at all, or how they've been performing. So it was kind of up in the air of maybe helped me because I didn't feel any more or less confident than I maybe would have if I looked into it, right? I was just ready to see Sac Republic go play and hopefully win. Game starts. We're looking okay. We're looking good. It's a very even first half. Both teams got some good opportunities. With the USL, the reffing is just like in Premier League. Always a question mark of what kind of ref you're going to get. And unfortunately, there's no VAR of any amount. So yeah, it's first half. It goes on and ends 0-0 at the half, which I think is fair. Both teams, like I said, were kind of feeling each other out. I think this was their first time they played this season, at least. But again, it's Connecticut, so we don't go over there that much. They don't come here that much.
Sure.
So, but then second half starts again, kind of picks up the same way. But I think Hartford came out with some more energy, maybe, and they're able to get like kind of a scrappy goal. I think around maybe the 50th minute or something. So like pretty quickly. But we're plenty of time to get back in this. You got the home fans behind you. There was a segment of traveling Hartford fans, so shout out to that. You love to see it. But yeah, game goes on. There's a certain penalty that it was not called for Sac Republic's favor. We were literal like body check in the box. Like, if I think the argument was shoulder to shoulder, but it was like ice hockey level body check and uncalled. Okay, almost to be expected with the refereeing that we deal with at the level of USL, but a bummer to see that happen in a final. But yeah, then I think really we got our subs wrong. We took out an attacker and like moved in some other attackers and tweaked the midfield a little bit, but just wasn't who I wanted to see pulled out. I think we just stayed too defensive, too slow. We were trying the long balls all night and they were just not working, but like plan never changed. So it kind of didn't go in our favor. Obviously towards the end they made the big push. They were trying. There was, I think, a shout for a handball in there at some point, but it was just one of those. The ref was not looking to make a big call on the day. It's fair enough. Like, it certainly wasn't only the ref's fault. Like, Sac Republic, I think, tactically and subs let them down. So lost it at 1-0, which is a bummer, but still you got to be in the first final of the Jägermeister Cup and host the final, so there was excitement all around. It was still fun. I haven't yelled that much at a match in a long time, so that was a nice blast from the past.
Was it hate watching, or was it come on boys?
It was both. I mean, I get upset when there's bad calls and all that, but at the same time, I've been following this team in this league for a good many years now, so I'm kind of used to it. But I think it's like on these occasions where it's games that have a trophy at the end or matter for like a playoff spot or whatever, then obviously emotions get a little bit more into it, and I get a little more fired up.
Yeah, you got it.
But I'd say it's a healthy mix of telling the ref what he's doing wrong, but then also hang on. Also getting getting behind the boys and cheering them on, trying to spur them on, because it's one of those of like the same way you could probably argue with Liverpool or Arsenal or any team is like you can only blame the ref for so much, and you got to be able to just play your game kind of regardless of the ref. So
great segue.
That's how I look at it. Yeah. Fun night though. Just wish we would have won.
Yeah, it always makes it a little better when you win. Well, Chad, I think that's a great segue into the Liverpool game, because it was just another Liverpool-Chelsea Anthony Taylor mix, which we seem to be getting a lot of that in the last couple of years. It's just inevitable that he's going to be the one to I'll call him the host. He's not really the official. He is the host of that game.
Host. I like
and I would say a draw was on the table. We talked about the draws that Liverpool and Chelsea had, and because Chelsea hasn't been the same the last couple of years, Liverpool's kind of put it on them, and this game felt different. Chelsea was up for the challenge, despite not having Cole Palmer, which we'll talk about what we saw after the game, which is wild scenes. But, oh my goodness, Chad, this was one of the most frustrating games I think I've seen Liverpool play in the last, we'll call it a year. Just trying to think about games that I've had where, of course we had those games that we lost where we shouldn't have lost, and games that we just struggled and play well. But this is one of those games when it felt like we were maybe not the better team for a majority of the game, but plenty of opportunities to put goals in the net. and it just didn't happen. And I don't know what's going on with. I'm just gonna flat out say it. What's going on with Mo? He's hitting so many balls off target when last year those were just slotted in the net, like easy goal, touch his foot, right past the keeper, like no problem. Confidence was sky high, and now this year, everything is just off, like not even like that close, just off, and I don't know why that is. It's not like his position's changed. It's not like his role has changed that much. I will say, are we crowding the box a lot more than ever before? Sure. Let's look at all the players that we have and want to press forward. Both of our wingbacks want to press forward. Basically, every midfielder we have wants to be in a goal scoring opportunity. Yeah. We got now 2 strikers in Ekitike and Isak, which Liverpool with Mo we've never really had a striker, like a true number 9 with Mo. So we have, what's kind of crazy, 8 of our 11 essentially in the final third at times, which doesn't give Mo the space to maybe do what he's been able to do in the past. I mean, we just have Virgil and Konate like in the back. Everyone else is forward, which is great when you want to possess. But when you can't finish and you can't score goals at the rate we were doing last year, there's a problem. So, a lot of people are saying this is like, oh, Liverpool's transition year is finally happening. It's like, I guess. I don't want to say it's a transition year. I mean, we've been sitting in first for the last 2 months. We've been playing perfect up until 3 weeks ago. We've lost now 3 games in a row, 1 in Europe, 2 in England. This Chelsea one, I think we're kicking ourselves that we didn't get the draw out of it, which we would have been happy about. I think walking away in that game with a draw, we would have been fine. It would have been one of those moments where like, fine, we got a draw here. It's against Chelsea, quality squad, no problem. Chelsea had late winter magic. It happens. We're down. Alisson, would Alisson have saved that goal? I don't know. Too hard to say. It's just, it seems like the online rhetoric is panic. Everyone panic. Like Liverpool's in shambles. Like, okay, top of the league, or second at this point, right? Been top of the league for the last 2 months. Are we trying to figure out how to work our new signings in? Of course. Are we trying to figure out how to make Wirtz work? Yes. Now there's rumors that Xavi Alonso is contacting Wirtz saying, hey, like Madrid has a spot for you. It's like, that's crazy, dude. We're 2 months in, second in the league. Like, come on. Like, it's just wild. The rumors get floated out after just a little bit of struggle. Similar even last year with Pep and City, and how much like when they started to struggle, not even at this level, at a much higher level, they were struggling, and how much like shit got put on them. It's like, okay, we go into the international break, we come back and play United. I think that game will be I don't want to call it pivotal, but that could just be the game that just gets us like right back on track, where we forget about everything we said at the beginning of October. Like, honestly, and it's going to be, we play them in 2 weeks time, the 19th. So we have essentially 14 days. All this stuff that happened this past weekend and even the last week will be forgotten if we absolutely crush United. Could you imagine if we come in and crush United 4-0? We're scoring a brace and Salah, hits a PK and a goal. Everything that was said in the beginning of October is gone. It's gone.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing, right? It's 7 match days in, you've been top of the table, and now you're still just 1 point off the top. Like, it's no cause for panic. Wirtz is out there. I feel like getting better each time I see him.
He's not playing bad. He's not playing bad. It's not him. This cannot be on him.
Yeah, not at all. I think it's a little bit the Tetris of how do you get all these attack-minded players forward and in the proper positions and not, in each other's way. And the Salah issue, I guess we can maybe call it at this point, is a question mark of like, do you just maybe sit him for a game and maybe just give him that little reminder, or at the very least you sub him out every now and then? But I get why you don't, because it is Salah, and if he can tap into that form of the past few seasons, that ball can fall to him at the right time and it's a goal, right? So
yeah,
it's a hard argument to find a solution to with him, but I mean, I think it's like you're seeing with a lot of teams that brought in new players. It takes time to kind of figure out the new setup and how everyone plays, and for them to make all those connections. And I mean, it's too early to really panic and worry. And if anything, this international break probably came at a great time after a rough week, right? So they can all go away or take a couple days off, whatever. Just get away from it for a little bit, come back, focus. And I think going into rivalry game against United, I think is a great way to kickstart it again and get right back into gear.
For sure. And again, Isak's played, I think, 3 games with us now. And of course that's going to take time for him to even want to get back in shape, right?
Yeah.
Figure out how to play around Liverpool's players. And Virgil came out after the game yesterday and said, look, like, we have a lot of stuff on the field we need to work on, but also we're like slightly still broken inside the locker room, which using Jota as I don't want to say like a fallback excuse on why we're playing bad, I don't think is the way to go. But I'm sure there was a different energy, as we all saw when Jota came on the field, right? Mm. And now it's like, okay, who fills that spot? And I think that's what Virgil's more referring to with his locker room comment is we all knew Jota comes in and scores goals. It's like right now, I don't think, I'm going to do a quick rundown of all of our stats here. I don't think Liverpool's had a sub come on and score outside of Rio and Chise, which again, love them both. Chise, we've seen him do like that kid, I think gets the starting nod, man, hopefully soon. For me personally, as like a fan watching, Gakpo isn't doing enough for me. Love him. Love the way he plays. I think he's excellent with the Netherlands and opportunities come at Liverpool. But I think you got to play the one that's hot right now. The one that's hot, as you say. Like he's scoring a goal and an assist in every 38 minutes or it's like every 30 or something. It's wild. It's insane. And considering how he was performing last year, everyone was saying like he doesn't have it anymore. So we've like totally flip-flopped on this guy, which is just, it sucks for him in the mental, but it shows how much work he's put in to show that he can produce. So I don't know, man, Slot has some thinking to do. We can't come out and let United smoke us, but thank you, Sunderland, for taking one for the entire league and letting Man United beat you, because I still believe that Sunderland is the better team, and they just had an off day.
I think that's fair. I think I think their defense just fell a little flat on the day, right? Like Mason Mount has enough time to bring that ball down and have a whole thought of like where he's going to shoot it, right?
I think Mount was shocked that he's had that much time to even.
I would have never expected it to one, fall to Mount so easily, and two, for him to be able to like bring it down and take the shot and not just like throw a leg at it, right?
Yep.
So I don't know what really happened in the back line, and the Sesko one's just maybe call it a little unlucky. I don't know what you want to, but again, maybe just a lapse in defense. But I think beyond that, like, they were in the game. They certainly weren't outplayed by United. I think maybe not their day. Like, I don't know. It's.
But if Sunderland would have won, Almiron would have got fired. I really want to believe that. I think that was the final straw.
Probably.
So
that's the perfect time to do it too, into 2 weeks to get someone new in.
For sure. So how perfect for Liverpool to have the same manager in there, and then come back and have this essentially the same team. Because if he gets fired, who knows who gets brought in? Southgate is now the one that's kind of been rumored and floating, which I was like, that kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense to have an English guy in there again, and like, for whatever difference that might make. and then come out and play insane for Southgate. That would just be like writing on the walls, right? But now we get the same old United that we've absolutely crushed. It's like, I guess last year it was Ten Hag when we schooled him 4-0. But I don't know. If I'm United right now, I'm not thrilled that I'm going into international break with the same manager. But again, I think the rest of the league is going, sweet, he's still here, and this team hasn't changed much.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like, I don't know if you saw the rumors that Amorim was thinking of stepping down himself. Like,
what?
I don't think he would. That
he said that out loud?
I don't know if he said it or if that's some like hearsay of like person who knows him or said something that, like, got passed around, but that like came across on my Reddit feed, and I was like, as much as he maybe is frustrated with it, you're not going to walk away from whatever your severance package is for getting fired, right? So
no, and I mean that, and like if he gets a win under his belt, he's like right back in it, and you know he gets a few more weeks to do whatever he wants to do. Yeah, I wouldn't have believed if I read it, but
is that not like a crazy like mind game the club would play though, of like, you know, okay, you lose to Sunderland and then you're out, but if you win against Sunderland, we keep you. It's like once you already kind of have the thought of like this is going bad enough that you're out after one game, like you might as well just let the guy go, right? You've presumably started your look, and that's why the Southgate rumors and stuff are coming out. So it seems silly to have this like countdown of you know when your time has come. So I don't know. I think they're. I mean, they seem happy enough to like let him try and figure it out, and it will break at a certain point, obviously, or I guess work out. But it just seems like such a weird game to play. Of like, we have someone ready on standby because we don't really believe in you, but if you get another win, we'll give you more time. Like,
do you remember though how they treated Ten Hag near the end when he won that cup? It's very similar to be like, well, if you win this, we'll keep you, but if you lose it, like you're obviously gone. It's the same thing. It's the same tactic they used back then, and it wouldn't shock me if we just don't have the memory of them doing it to old Gunner and
yeah, probably.
Gosh, who was before him? Was it Mourinho before him? And are we missing one in between?
Oh,
I don't think so. I think it was old Gunner, Ten Hag, and Almerim, and then prior to him, oh man, was it Moyes or not yet?
I think it was. No, I think it was Mourinho, then Moyes.
Don't forget about Louis van Gaal. He was in there too. Hang on, I'm just gonna go. We're going to the managers.
He came in right after. I forget. It's a long list they got.
It's a long list. All right, so after Fergie, it went David Moyes, I guess Ryan Giggs, Louis van Gaal, Mourinho, Gunner, and then Michael Carrick came in for a quick minute. Ralph Ragnick came in, interim. Who's he with now? Is he with? Oh, he's coaching Austria. All right, and then Ten Hag. Which this is the next one. This is the next one that they should have rolled with him. Ruud van Nistelrooy. Do you remember when he came in and how good they were playing? And they were like, why not just keep him? And then Almerim got quickly signed, and Ruud went to. Oh, geez, remind me. They got relegated, didn't they? Leicester.
Yeah,
was it Leicester?
Leicester, yeah.
Leicester, yeah. So, I mean. I'd hate being a fan of this club. It's so crazy. I feel bad. I feel bad now for a couple of their fans that we know. I'm just like, how terrible. Like, not even like, and the wins they get, they're still frustrated by it. Like, still want them gone.
That's the thing is I think it's just, you know, to go off the Arteta kind of tenure so far, of like he came into a kind of mishmash, not great squad, which you could argue a lot of these United managers have walked into as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you know, play wasn't always great. Final position on the table wasn't always great. You know, cup runs wasn't always great, but I think beyond a lot of the inner club working stuff that Arteta tried to figure out, you could always kind of see the vision of what he was trying to get the play to look like and how it was going to work, which I think alone can buy managers a lot of time with both the board and fans of like, you can see what he's going for, and it doesn't always work out yet, or doesn't always fully click, but you can see it's getting closer to that, or it clicks once in a while, and then like it starts to kind of put some belief into what the manager's trying to do and keep the fans on board. But I mean, we've said it time and again already that Amarim's vision just doesn't seem to, I guess, work here, or it's hard to see what his vision is here. And at this point, like, you would think you got to make a tweak to that vision, or at least some sort of stopgap to get there. But it's we're just doing the same thing over and over.
Chad, you're just getting some beautiful segues for us right now, because now we had to jump into Nottingham Forest and Ainge, and 6 games in, no wins. Fans are calling for his head fast. He hasn't changed his way ever.
Yeah.
There's no way he's changing his way now, and he's continuing to get cooked by these teams. How frustrating. You have your own fans singing like, yeah, we don't want you. After 6 games, that's wild.
Yeah. I really feel for the Forest fans, because losing Nuno was only because of a disagreement between him and ownership, right? And I think even Nuno would have continued, but I think the owner just didn't want to deal with him, or whatever it might be, right? And you're like, you played well, had your best league position under him for a long time. You're back in Europe after a long time, and now here's this new guy brought in that this squad is not set up for.
Polar opposite
style of play. Total opposite. And now you're sitting in 17th, not performing well in Europe. It's just got to be such a bummer after like the highs of last season, especially, and maybe in the season before, of just kind of like building up to that, and it just falling out from under you through like no real fault of anyone beyond the owner wanting Nuno out.
To go from second place for most of last year, third place, just missing Champions League in Europe now, which is fun, to just getting absolutely smoked in the Premier League is just a wild turn of events for this team. And I could go back in my notes. Hang on, where do we put Forest? You remember?
Shoot, I could look it up too, but I want to say kind of mid-table.
Mid, but not where they are now. I don't think we had them in Europe again, but I do want to say it was not terrible.
Forest?
I had them 9th.
Yeah, I think mine was. I have 9th here, but I might have flopped them for someone else.
Had them 9th, which at this point in the season, 9th is still achievable. I mean, look at Aston Villa, sitting dead last 3 weeks ago, and now they're sitting 13th, and I'm feeling a lot better about my prediction of 8th, considering they're 4 points away from that. So there is still plenty of time for Forest to turn it around, but not the way they're playing now, especially with the guy who's never changed. Doesn't have, I think, the right personnel to be doing this. I mean, Chris Wood, there's a reason why Chris Wood was so good last year, because that Nuno put him in the best situation possible. Now, I mean, Ainge is trying to treat Chris Wood like he's gosh, man, who's like a super fast, like a 24-year-old Lewandowski. Like, like it's unfair. It's unfair to Wood. It's unfair to your wingers. Now, if they would have kept Elanga, I could say, like, okay, I could see Elanga fitting into this well. I could see Igor Jesus playing into this kind of new role, which I think Igor is going to probably take the starting role from Wood pretty soon here. It's just crazy last year. You see Chris Wood scoring 20-plus goals, And now he's a shell of himself. And it's not Wood's fault in any way.
No, not at all. Yeah.
It's the system. So, again, more frustrated fans, and now you're sitting in relegation zone. Would it shock me if Forest get relegated this year at this point? No.
If they stick with Ainge here, yeah, I think it's a good bet, right?
It's so crazy to say out loud.
Yeah, but it is that easy, right? Of like, you have a manager with a tactical idea that, you know, he loves to play this front foot high press attacking way, which is great. It's entertaining, but without the right squad and without the right players, you leave yourself super exposed, which is happening now 6 games in a row. So I don't know. I mean, if you're the owner, are you gonna be big enough to kind of eat your own words here and get Ainge out and you know, a not Nuno obviously, but someone more akin to that style in to just kind of stabilize your season? Or
get ready to clip this, Chad. Mourinho. We said it before. We'll say it again.
Huh?
Well, I mean, Mourinho took the job in Portugal, so probably not. But it just makes no sense why they didn't go for him. And maybe they did. Maybe he turned him down. I don't know. I think their manager, which, you know, for the fans, the manager also is the owner of the Olympiacos team in Greece. So he sees them playing in Champions League right now. He sees Forest doing absolute shit in Premier League. Like, I think obviously he's the owner, so he wants both teams to be successful. But if Forest doesn't do great and Olympiacos does fine, I think he's just going to turn his shoulder to Forest and just say, I'm going to focus on and watch this more because this team is trash. And I mean, we look at it, if Ainge goes, like, okay, who's next? Who's next?
Yeah.
Honestly, there's not. What's Conte up to these days?
Conte.
He's still in Napoli, I think. Yeah, he's in Napoli. Yeah, he's Napoli. He's taking all the Man United players and making them ballers.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You do need to do someone, you know, in that Mourinho, Nuno.
Doesn't Conte make sense a little bit? I think Conte could come in there and absolutely be like, okay, like just literally lay down the law and be like, this is what we're doing now, and everyone I think would fall in line. How is Napoli doing right now?
I think the owner and Conte would just butt heads immediately.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it would be pretty ugly. Napoli's sitting first in Serie A right now, so he's not going anywhere. I think they're playing pretty good. But that's what they need, man. They need someone tough to come in there and not be so like Ainge. He's just like the friendly Australian man. Does he get frustrated sometimes? Sure. Does he say, you know, when people say, when do you need a win? He says, tomorrow. You know, okay, great, but how? At least Conte, you're going to see him on the sideline grabbing players, fired up, going nuts, like fighting Tuchel if he needs to. You know, we've seen that before. I think that's for these bottom dweller teams, like Sean Dyche, when he came into Everton, everyone was like fired up. It's like, oh, dude, the relegation master just came in here with some energy. It's going to keep us up. And what do you know it did? Maybe that's the next move. What's Dyche up to these days?
I mean, it's not a bad shout. Like, I think those managers like Dyche, who was they called him Big Sam. I forget his actual name.
Sam Allardyce. He was
Allardyce or something.
Allardyce. Yeah, I think that's it.
But like these like kind of like relegation survival.
Yes.
I don't know. Like it was their bread and butter to survive.
Yes.
And not get relegated. Like I think that's a viable option. Maybe not yet necessarily, but put it on the table. And you know, I get if you don't want to wed your team to, you know, Sean Dyche and his type of play for long, but like, I don't know, pay him a big bag for 8 months, whatever it might be, to just keep you up, and you know, you can use that time to try and entice the manager you really want to take you forward. Like,
Big Sam's
at least he's still in
available.
Premier League.
Big Sam's
We'll see. There you
available.
go.
He's 70, so he's up there, but he is out
I don't
there.
know, see, he's 70. He's gonna come in, not put up with any shit, just like whip everyone into shape, hoof it up to wood, and we're good to go.
Just Ainge ain't it. Everyone scratched their head.
Yeah.
We're still scratching heads. Forrest comes back. They end up playing Chelsea. Probably not going to go their way. Like, let's just be honest. They go play in their Europa game against Porto. Come back, dude. This is they're gonna have a tough time this next 2 months. Bournemouth, Man United, Leeds, which has been playing great lately. Don't fool around with Leeds. Liverpool, Brighton, and then Wolves. Maybe 2 wins out of those.
Yeah, that's rough.
How much? When does Ainge get let go? End of the month. He makes it to November. Keep in mind they play Porto on the 23rd.
Yeah. I think it can't be much longer. You know, like I get you. You do need to kind of give these managers time to, implement their system and stuff. But when it's just not a fit, it's just not a fit, right? I think. I think you'd maybe circle the Leeds game as your finale for Ainge. Again, you might not expect a win against Chelsea with the way Bournemouth's playing. Probably not there. United, I guess, is maybe a question mark. It could go your way if it all falls together perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And Leeds, I think you might look at as a relegation contender with you. Which I kind of disagree with at this point, but you might look at it that way and see if we can't get a win against a similar level team, then what are we doing here? But I don't think you want to leave it too late, because that's already what 1, 2, 3, 4 match days further from now, and you're quickly approaching halfway point of the season, the busy winter period. Unless Ainge turns it around, I don't think they get into too deep into that winter spot. Like, I don't think you want to start on those like multiple games a week section of the season with a manager that's not working.
It's not ideal, nor again, we're still like, why did we do this? Why did we do this?
Yeah.
I again feel for them. What a fall from grace, we'll call it, because dude, Forrest was kicking ass last year, playing smart. They were just playing so smart, and now we're playing reckless. And it's just glad I'm not a fan of this team either. Even though we're going through our own struggles, a lot of these teams, like, geez, it could be so much worse.
Yeah,
so much
for
worse. All right, want to talk about Arsenal since you're sitting
at the top,
believing.
Yeah, it's nice to go into an international break on top. Just 1 point, but you're right in there, and finally twice now, I guess, taking advantage of some Liverpool missteps. So that's great. That's definitely correcting some wrongs of seasons past. But obviously it's a long way to go. So I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but I am happy to get a win against West Ham. They are a bit of a bogey team. I think they did the double over Arsenal last season, if I remember correctly. Or maybe that was the season before. I don't know. But they've given us trouble in recent times. And of course, that new manager mumbo jumbo with Nuno there, it felt like the making of a nice trap game to to ruin everyone's spirits going into the break. But man, I feel like Arsenal is just unlucky to only have 2 goals in this game. They were just shooting a lot, Gyökeres, I think, is also unlucky to not have a goal. He's getting in the right spots. I think the team is learning how to work with him, and vice versa. Um, Bummer to lose Odegaard again. I just
Oh
saw that he's
man,
the first ever Premier League player to get subbed out in the first half in 3 consecutive games.
it's brutal.
Um,
But stop you right there. I asked, do you see like what the problem is with that? It's like, okay, if we're subbing him out every 20th minute for the last 3 games, why has he been in 3 of those situations? Like, obviously he hasn't been right, unless they've been 3
well,
separate injuries, which I don't believe they have, right?
well, the 2 of them are the same shoulder, which was
Right.
both kind of just like freak accident.
Okay.
The first one is, I mean, they're all just been like contact injuries, so nothing of him pulling a hammy or anything. But yeah, the first one landed weird on his shoulder, makes it back, and kind of does the same thing again to the same shoulder, so that sucks. Then finally makes it back, plays a great game in the Champions League, and is looking good here, and we're seeing him and Eze on the field together. That's
Yep.
what everyone wants.
Right.
And of course, I didn't actually see the challenge, but from what I read, it was a knee to knee kind of contact thing, and
Yep.
it is some level of MCL injury. So they haven't really given much detail. It's I wouldn't expect them to anyway, but he pulled out of Norway's camp for the 2 weeks, and then so it's depending on the level of injury to that. At worst, it requires some amount of surgery, which is then like a 6 to 8 week outage. Otherwise, it could be 1 to 2 weeks, could be 3, 4. So again, bummer for him. I think it's just purely unlucky. It's I don't think it's down to any overuse or rushing him back or anything.
Okay.
Which is nice because that would be frustrating to
Right.
have him get that lovely stat just by pure stupidity. But so at least he has a little bit of time to recover here, and hopefully it's not too bad. But that means we get more Eze starts. So
True. Like a guarantee now, right? You have no one else.
Yeah,
It's got to be him.
exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I think back to this game, it looked great from an Arsenal perspective. It felt pretty assured the whole time, even though it was 1-0 for almost 70 minutes. But man, they were just kind of all over the place. Like Jurrien Timber is a right back, but there are so many times he's playing in that front line for like minutes on end.
I kept having to be like, who is that up there? It's like, oh my God, it's Timber. It's like Ben White stood out because he was pretty much in that position all the time and was a good crosser. But Timber just offers you guys so much more. It sucks because Ben White is awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of made of glass, but, pretty damn good too. So nice little replacement you got there. Which now I'm like, what do you do with Ben White? I don't think you're keeping him, right?
I mean, you figure that both Ben and the club are probably kind of asking that question of, where does his future lie? I think he'll probably see out this season just because he does offer, good rotation option for Timber. But I think, clearly, and I know Ben White's been out with injury and trying to work his way back, but like clearly within that time, Timber has just fully taken the starting spot from him, which fair enough, it happens, and that's just part of the game. So I think he'll probably see out the season, but wouldn't be surprised if he's on the short list to sell for next summer.
Wonder who would pick him up.
Be a good option as long
Would
as
be
they
good.
can keep him healthy. So
It's the toughest part.
I don't know. That's kind of all I got to say. Like this is felt like ended up feeling pretty straightforward. Like I said, I was nervous kind of going into it just because of what West Ham has been to us in past times, but
Not this year.
not this year. It felt good, Saka coming back into full fitness.
His goal was nice. It looked so easy.
It's Gyökeres, I think, he's kind of gets the worst treatment a little bit amongst the Arsenal fan base of like, we bought this guy off of whatever 50, 40 goals, whatever he scored in Portugal, and I think some fans are expecting him to come in and do that exactly here, which was never going to happen. But I think he's integrating well. He's playing the right spots. He's making the runs, dragging players away from Saka and Eze and Trossard, and doing what he needs to do as a striker beyond scoring goals. So that'll come. I think it'll really be interesting when Havertz gets back. I think that could be when Gyökeres really kind of kicks on, because now he has like proper competition, and I wouldn't be surprised if Havertz just maybe not immediately takes that starting spot back, but gets that starting spot back quicker than we maybe would have expected. Just because I think Mikel really likes Kai. He can kind of do it all, and I think he probably feels a little bit of like, I molded you into the striker I wanted, and wants that. So it'll be interesting, but another one of those good problems to have.
Depth is just so key when you're going to make deep runs at a Champions League and potentially be fighting for a title, right? I mean, we can already look at teams right now. If we go from Aston Villa, who had their hopes on probably a top 4 finish, which like now probably not going to happen just because of how much they're looking up. So now it's like depth to them is just, let's just make sure we don't get relegated. It's going to be one of those weird years for us, which is crazy to say 7 games in, right? 7 games in, but you are almost a fourth through the season. I think you have expectations on what your season could be. I mean, we look at Bournemouth now, and they're like, okay, we're in this. Like, literally, we could fight for a title this year. And, you got plenty of teams mid-table, too, who are just a couple points down. I mean, I'm curious when we'll see major separation.
I think... I think it'll take a little bit longer than
I think it will too.
Past seasons.
I think it will. Yeah, I mean Liverpool and Arsenal and City in the last call it 6-7 years have really been the ones to split away from the group. And I would say to a degree, I don't want to say on paper, but everyone has gotten more. It's hard to say with Liverpool with all our signings. Like, we should be above everyone else, but really, like, the outside of the top 7, everyone seems to have improved a ton. But go outside of top 7, those teams didn't make moves, so they're where they're supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we could argue that sure, City, Arsenal, Liverpool should be the ones who are title favorites, but at this point, I guess there's no guarantee on that. I don't think anyone would put money on Arsenal winning the league versus Liverpool versus City, right? Just because you don't know what's going to happen with injuries. I mean, let's just, for example, quick segue to City. They have 13 goals on the year. Haaland scored 9 of them. You take Haaland out of that team, what are they? What are they?
Yeah.
A shell of themselves, right? I think they're relying too much on this guy, which is, again, when you have him, you can rely on him as much as you want. But I imagine Pep has a backup plan. I just don't know what it is. I don't know how this team continues their success without Haaland.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to see what they do. I mean, I think Marmoush, is still injured anyway.
He should be back after the break.
Okay,
should be back.
So I mean, I guess that would be your immediate switch, but I mean, no one is going to be Haaland's level replacement, right? So
no,
you kind of have to make the team more versatile and have more goal scorers, but if they're not already kind of doing that, then it does pose a question of, how quickly can they transition to that? And, luckily for them, Haaland doesn't get injured all that often, so it shouldn't come up. But
he was out. He was out for a minute last year, though, and that's when we saw some struggles. So, I don't know. It's possible. I think it's possible that something could happen. But yeah, the likeliness of that, slimmer, right? Because Haaland has kind of been a beast the last couple of years and playing every game. But Yeah, man, just nine goals out of 13. That's a crazy ratio.
It's great, but also, yeah, there's some like underlying like bad kind of vibe under there too.
Yep. You know, it's weird. I'm actually looking at their squad right now. They have Haaland at 9 goals, Nunez, Foden, Shirke, Reinders at 1 goal apiece. I'm doing my math right? That's 13. But if you look, it's got to be some own goals. The table has them at 15. I don't know who's scoring own goals against them, but that has to be it.
Yeah, I think they did benefit from a couple of those.
So two against Burnley. Brutal. There it is. There are the 2. I got a little nervous.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we hit the nail on the head with the teams we wanted to talk about. Crystal Palace losing their first game. They had I think it was a 19-game unbeaten streak.
Something like that, yeah.
So
they do bleed.
They are human. Yeah, 19 matches, 6 months. Streak is over. They screwed up my pick'ems for the week. Also, pick'ems was rough for me. Mars, though, 5 out of 6.
Really? Dang.
Yeah, Mars at the top of the table now. So he's taking this very seriously. So be on the lookout for that. Just going through other notable. Brighton not getting it done against the Wolves. Doesn't look good on you, Brighton, considering you've been so streaky in how you've been playing. How you beat Chelsea 3-1 and then draw the Wolves. Can't trust them.
No, yeah, Brighton's in a weird spot this season, I think. They don't I don't really know what's going on with them. I haven't watched a lot, but I mean, yeah, you can't flip-flop so much. You got to just kind of find your groove and go with it. And to drop any points to this Wolves team, just a terrible look.
Yeah, it's not great. Not a great situation for them. Newcastle, not shocked by that scoreline, which we kind of talked about. Forest, I think, like we said, we'll probably see more of a climb from Newcastle moving forward. They play Brighton next, so I think that's good for them. Tottenham leads. Tottenham scored late in this game. I believe Kudus got the winner. How late into this? Not that late, 57th minute, but
yeah, this kind of felt like this should have been a draw. I think Leeds at least earned a draw, if not more. Really, like they were kind of all over Tottenham. It just, it didn't really fall their way, I guess. Like some of these mistakes that Vicario was making on, I think it was a corner kick or something, where he came out to get the ball and it just sailed over him because he completely got the trajectory wrong, was crazy.
That came up on one of my highlights on my feed, and I was like, oh geez. I was like, and then another situation where he went to punch and whiffed, and I was like, wow, that looks kind of rocky back there. Yeah. I mean, Tottenham's sitting third, though. Weird team right now. I still don't know what to think of them. I think Frank is the right manager. Obviously, they made great signings, but if I took a screenshot of the table now, I don't think third is where they're going to end up.
Yeah.
I think they're going to drop a little. When? Where?
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Have you seen that expected points table floating around?
No, but I'm gonna look it up now.
Yeah, someone posted it. I think it probably on the soccer subreddit, and I think it really has them for expected points in 8th. So they're obviously overperforming that, which I guess 8th feels a little bit low. I think compared to how I've seen them play. I know they still are kind of in that Tottenham vein of have some high highs and low lows, but I don't know. 8th felt a little crazy to me, but I don't think they'll end up third. Third feels high once everything kind of shakes out a little bit. But
you saw this on Reddit?
I think it was on Reddit. Yeah, it's
All right, see if you can look in your history to find it, because I'm curious to see what that looks like.
yeah. Yeah, let's see.
Jack Grealish scored a goal this week, and he said, "I need to do more of that." And we're like, "Yeah, that makes sense. That's what you should be doing."
I need to do more.
But again, good for him. Revitalized. But other than that, man, this week was, I feel like, how I expected it to go outside of the Palace game and I guess the Brighton Wolves game. Everything else, I was like, yeah, this all kind of made sense. I wanted more out of Sunderland, but it wasn't like a shot. Oh my God, United beat Sunderland. That's crazy. It wasn't one of those.
Yeah.
I think as we come back from the break, I think we'll see some headlines that'll make a little more sense. Like if Everton can come back and beat City after the break, that'd be wild. And I think that's possible. I think Everton has, especially a Jack Grealish revenge game. Totally see it coming.
I like that.
Right? A Palace coming against Bournemouth, two top 6 teams who probably shouldn't or weren't expected to be there. I think that's a great matchup. Chelsea and Forest, like, again, another one where Chelsea could totally drop the ball here and Forest could find a way to win. And then we had to finish at least the weekend off with Liverpool United. That could be quite the talking point if it goes terrible for Liverpool or terrible for United. Mm-hmm. And then we get the relegation battle of West Ham and Brentford on Monday, which I guess we'll be watching. Don't really want to, but it will be on because it's the lone game of the weekday.
Okay, I found not the post, but I found it's from xgstat.com.
Okay.
So yeah, if you sort the table by expected points, it has Tottenham actually down in 11th, which feels even worse.
Is it calculating? Is it calculating expected wins off of goals?
Couldn't tell you. I don't really know how this is working. It does, it has a column for XG and goals allowed. So I think it's just all that kind of XG mathy nonsense that maybe makes sense, maybe doesn't.
Okay.
Because on the flip side, it has United in second when you say about how many points they should have.
Why? So
it's maybe basing it off of all those stats that went around of all the cross completions and what they had, like a lot of box entries or something. It's an interesting one to look at. Again, I don't really take like too much stock in a lot of this expected goals and all that. Like, if it's a goal, it's a goal,
Right.
It does make for a fun kind of table to look at of where teams maybe quote unquote should be. But again, that's part of any sport. It was just kind of riding the wave of good luck, bad luck, or having the guy that's just on a heater that day and gets you across the line.
Yeah, that's a trip. I would have never guessed United being that high up, and I don't know why. So
yeah, I'll have to look more into it and see what they're kind of using to make all these calculations and stuff. But yeah, it's a fun one to keep an eye on.
All right, well, send it to me. I'm curious to see what it all kind of looks like.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think we broke the table down pretty good here for the weekend. We're an hour in. Anything else to say? Any points to make?
No, just enjoy your international break. Hopefully there's no injuries.
Please.
Everyone makes it back, and I, like most people, will be ready to see Liverpool stomp on United. So
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right, Chad. Well done. Another episode in the book. With that, we'll get into pitch. We're out. Peace.